What's up, guys? Welcome back to the show. Today we're talking about energy. Yes, so if you are drained of energy or you feel like I'm kind of at the verge of burnout because somehow I have overworked my ass, then this video hopefully will help you to get slowly but surely back on track. Okay, we'll discuss 3 strategies of how you can actually get back your energy in case you have been missing it. Okay, so if that's for you, then let's get the party started. Alright, let's get the party started. So one of my core values, you guys, is actually radiating energy. And however, it's very important to know when you radiate your energy and when you actually go back to bed and don't. All right. I define it as first, make sure your energy is high, right? So raise your energy, and when it's high, then share it, right? Because there's obviously people whose energy is low, and you can probably spot them in the office. They usually smell like very low vibes, and sometimes they also do something else to smell bad. But if that's not you, when you feel like somehow I really would love to raise my energy in order to get more things done, in order to not be as burned out as I feel all the time, then these strategies should help you. And I'll tell you first a story, because there's a story of a client of mine that came to me and said, hey, you know what? I kind of feel like there's not much I can do. Like I've been, having so much to do in the last couple of months, but then it hits this point where I had all these little things I wanted to get done, but somehow I didn't get myself to do it. It's like this point where everything feels like a stretch, everything feels like a push, and everything feels a little bit annoying and somehow overwhelming at the same time. If you have a really stressful job, then this can feel like it's too much, right? And sometimes you can push yourself over the edge, because most of ourselves, that's what we do. We push ourselves even if we don't have the energy. And so I would actually love to tune into a way here how you can do something else, right? Strategy number 1, right? So with that client, we talked about it. We said, hey, how did this happen? Like, what's actually happening every day for you that you have low energy, right? And we noticed that, okay, they were sleeping very irregularly, right? They were sleeping, sometimes, they're going to bed at like 1 a.m., sometimes at like 11 p.m., sometimes they would go to bed at some other point, they would wake up multiple times throughout the night, and then they would wake up in the next day whenever it was kind of appropriate. And so there was no regular sleep schedule, and no regular sleep schedule when you're like burning out, and burnout essentially is like a chronic lack of energy, right? And so that's what they recommend. Start with a regular sleep schedule, right? So just set the time for, let's say, 10 p.m. to, 6 a.m., something like that, right? And just keep it regular for 1 week. Okay, that's like the first thing you want to do, so that your energy slowly rises. So we tried that and we thought, okay, this is not too bad. Like, slowly things started to move. But there was a second thing, and there's the thing that they needed to do. They needed to remove a second energy drain. So the sleep was one, but then the second energy drain that was pretty high on their list was actually, a social media diet, right? So essentially, that person was binging on stuff that wasn't very helpful. And sometimes maybe you've experienced that too, when you actually are a little bit hooked on dopamine, right? So when any sort of social media platform, be it YouTube, be it Instagram, be it whatever other platform, gets you hooked, right? And gets you not only hooked, but you start to binge without break. You consistently watch and you consume and you consume and you consume. And there is a point after which you consume too much, right? And you feel kind of a little bit bloated and like you really need a nap. It's as if you have some really good Indian food and you eat 3 times as much as you can actually eat. Yeah. And so what do you need usually after that? You need, first of all, a nap, a really long nap to digest, right? And most likely you also need the bathroom. And so what can you do here, right? Because in these moments, sometimes social media is so addictive and so awesome that you really don't want to leave it. And I've heard this with many clients, actually. When I checked what do they do on an everyday basis when they get up and they want to run a business at the same time, they check their social media for like the first 1 or 2 or 3 hours, and they're like, well, I don't know where my time is going. And that's exactly where it's going. It is going to that. And if social media is your job, fair enough, right? That's different. However, if it's not, then my man, you got no business hanging out there. And so if you really want your brain to kind of get a little bit detached or drop the addiction of dopamine, then you can do the following. You can actually block all your channels just for a few days, just to see what happens for you. So this is exactly what we did with my client. And well, I kid you not, after just 1 week, they already felt so much better, right? Energy was so much way back up because the energy was actually draining, right? So their energy was essentially going somewhere by simply them binging and doing something that was essentially, yes, pleasurable, but on another level, it didn't give them much back, right? And so it very much depends what you're consuming. And so if it's something, inspiring or uplifting or interesting, then it's cool. But oftentimes it's not, right? And so if it's not, then sometimes that will actually drain you. So if you are in the space of burnout and you feel like, hey, I need a little bit of my energy back, then try this out as a second one. First, you reset your sleep schedule. Second, you block out your social media sites just for a few days. And there's many tools that can do this online for you. So just give that a shot for the moment. What's the last one, right? So what's the third strategy of actually helping you with your burnout, right? There's something fairly important here, right? Because we have all different models of reality of how we stick to things. And I like to actually use this metaphor that normally when you feel at that point where your energy is very low, the reason that's the case is because your mind is like a computer and you have just been running way too many programs at the same time on this computer. And it is basically about to reach the famous blue screen from Windows, way back when it was just overloaded and it's about to crash. And that's usually what's going on, right? We have too many browser tabs open. We have too many things open for us. And the way how you kind of reduce your energy drain is by slowly but surely close those systems, right? And close the loop on the systems that are consistently working in the background. And so I'd love for you to actually take stock first, right? Have a look at all the systems that are happening for you in the background. And the way how you can do this is you can do a really big brain dump, right? And so I would love for you to just list down every little detail thing, absolutely everything that you think you need to do or that you should be doing that's on your to-do list, and really create the longest to-do list you possibly have ever done in your entire life, everything that's on your mind, dump it out, brain dump it, so that you see it in front of you. And that way, at least you will see how many programs is your mind running at the same time, right? And then after you find all the programs that your mind is running at the same time, see if you can consolidate them, right? Can you somehow chunk them? Can you say, well, there's different categories here, and can you make them less programs, right? So for example, if you have a list of 50 items, is there one category that kind of combines 10 items into one, right? And so this way you want to just reduce the amount of programs that you're running in your mind, and see if that helps as well. All right, this is what you got. 3 strategies for actually increasing your energy by reducing your energy drains. And with that, I want to say very much thank you. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, if it helped. Give me a comment and share which part worked for you. And please tell me if you like these shades or the next ones.